Hello, friends. Welcome back to Block Bytes. Welcome to another weekly crypto news session. Let's start with the markets. The markets have been fairly green, and the big reason around this is another big weekly inflow in terms of money coming into the market. So let's take a look at the CoinShares weekly report. We saw a market inflow of 176 million US dollars this week. This marks the eighth consecutive week of positive inflow in the market, in the crypto market, something that we have never seen before. Most of the funds have actually gone into Bitcoin, as we've seen in the past weeks as well. And then we have Ethereum, and Solana has again seen a big chunk of the weekly inflows, especially compared to Ethereum. So this is the reason why we have green all over the market. So that explains it. Moving on, this is perhaps the biggest news of the week. Binance has agreed to pay 4.3 billion US dollars to settle the criminal case against it and against the CEO CZ. And CZ has actually stepped down as the CEO, and he's pleaded guilty to all the charges. So Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, was criminally charged with breaking sanctions and money transmitting laws, and it agreed to pay the fine. Uh, so this has been an overall a very positive news for the crypto space. Most of the people that I follow in crypto ecosystem agreed, and they actually said that this is a positive news for the whole space. First and foremost, because that this case was hanging like a sword on the crypto space, and it was like in a limbo. We don't know what's happening with it, which direction it will go. So that part is all clear now, and it is just another uh, a road, just another story point or a blip in the growth trajectory of the crypto system or the ecosystem. And second, for Binance also, this is a good news, so that now they can actually, although it's bad for them in the sense that they have been found guilty of the charges and they have to pay a big chunk of a big fine, which is not really big for them, but it's still a big amount. But I think they are looking at the future, and as we see, the new CEO has actually said that, let me just go down, that yeah, they're looking at the next 50 years, right? So they're looking into the future. All of this is in the past now for the company, and I think that in itself is a good positive response from Binance, right? So overall, a positive response from crypto for the crypto market in general. Next, move on. Another positive news was that Fidelity has come out and applied for a spot Ethereum ETF. So they are the second company, second investment asset management firm after BlackRock to come out with a spot ETF, Ethereum ETF, right? So this is obviously big news for Ethereum. And after Bitcoin, it seems like all of these big name institutions are looking at Ethereum as the second most in demand digital asset. So great news for Ethereum and for the crypto space. I wonder what happens after Ethereum. Would it be Chainlink or Solana? That will be interesting to see, but I guess we'll find out. Next, yes, I will be covering a couple of gaming news because I feel that there is a lot of activity happening in the gaming space. And there is one big reason why gaming is a space that you should also focus on. And I will cover that right at the end of all the gaming news. So let's take a look at the first one. Ubisoft will be giving a free Ethereum NFTs for their new Champions Tactics game. The reason why I've included this news is because of Ubisoft, which is probably the biggest game developing companies in the world. And what they have done is, as their focus, as building focus towards blockchain gaming and NFT gaming, they have decided to host a free NFT mint for a series of profile pictures for their Champions Tactics Grimoria Chronicles game, right? Although the news in itself doesn't really have a lot of weight in it, but because we're talking about Ubisoft here, and gaming, remember, is still in the very early days of its adoption. It makes it an important news for the crypto adoption, right? Story. Let's move on. This is another positive news. Crypto gaming has, as a category of applications, has hit the daily active wallet of a million. Now, this is according to DAP Radar. So let's go there and take a look at the chart of the daily unique active wallets per category, right? So this is the chart that they're referring to. And as you can see, there are these different categories that are plotted on the chart. The first one, the white, is gaming. And as you can see, it has actually moved between 1 million and 1.2 millions. And it recently uh, jumped to 1.18 and 1.17. Then it came down. So but they're talking about this little jump here in the unique active addresses wallet. But gaming has been in the million and a million point two range since a long time now, since the past 30 days. Let's take a look at the yearly chart and see how that has changed. So yeah, so now we're talking about games have been in huge. They're the topmost category of applications using blockchain, or rather, contributing to the number of unique active addresses into the and basically leading the adoption story for blockchain. So that is big for the blockchains. No wonder a lot of the blockchains are interested in gaming. We've seen Polygon, obviously, we know Immutable X, and then we have Solana, who is making a lot of new noise in the gaming space. Let's move on to the next news. Nike. Now, this is not a gaming news per se, but it's NFTs related. So I've added it here. And of course, we're talking about Nike. So we talked about Ubisoft and games before, and now we're talking about Nike and NFTs in this news. So Nike came out with a new sneaker called the Artifact sneaker. And the what is unique about it is when you purchase a pair of these sneakers, you can actually get a digital collectible NFT also, right? So the way they've done it is they've embedded a NFC chip in the sneaker, which you can go and use to get the digital collectible from the shoe. So this is an interesting news. Nike is obviously trying various ways and means of experimenting with the whole NFT space. So I found this interesting. Moving on, gaming protocol Saga has raised 5 million uh, ahead of the mainland launch. Now, Saga is a blockchain that is specifically designed for crypto gaming, and it is where crypto game developers can come and spin their own blockchains, gaming blockchains or app chains, right? So um, s- uh, y- so this is so Saga is designed to launch customizable parallel chains called chainlets, which is similar to Polygon supernets and Avalanche subnets, as you all know. So the idea is that the protocol wants to make the most of the gaming narrative, and they want to focus on gaming, create this niche that will help drive and bootstrap their chain. But that is not the end goal. The end goal is to be a general infrastructure platform where non-gaming applications like DeFi, probably Dexes or Oracles, you name it, right, can come and create their own app chains, right? So that is the end game, but they're using the gaming narrative at the moment to bootstrap them. Nothing wrong with it, absolutely fine, and all the best to Saga. So these are all the gaming news I wanted to cover, and the reason why I'm looking at gaming is because of this particular chart. Now, if you remember, and we covered it in the weekly news recaps earlier, Standard Chartered Bank came out with a ETH price prediction report a few weeks back. And in that they had this graph, this chart, and what this chart shows you is how the Ethereum prices are going to be impacted with certain narratives. And one of the biggest narratives, it's you can see, is gaming, right? So even Standard Chartered feels that gaming is going to be a big booster for Ethereum, and if it is for Ethereum, it is for the entire crypto uh, ecosystem, other blockchains included, right? So this is the reason why I am looking at gaming as a interesting story for blockchains. They will be interesting protocols to track from a investment perspective also within gaming, right? So it's something to keep an eye on. Let's move on. Right. So SEC is back to what it does, doing SEC stuff. And it has now accused Kraken of operating as an unregistered securities platform. Something that we've seen in the past, that they have said uh, they have they've said that Coinbase and Binance have also done, and they've filed cases against both of these companies. So now the latest target for the SEC has been Kraken, which is probably the second most used cryptocurrency exchange in the US. What they say is that Kraken has commingled customer and corporate funds, meaning that they've used customer funds to meet some of the expenses of the corporate or the business expenses, and that they're operating as an unregistered broker, clearing agency, and dealer. Now, this is exactly what uh, I'm not sure about the commingling part, but of course, the unregistered broker clearinghouse is exactly the same as what the SEC has alleged Coinbase and Binance has been doing, right? So there's no change over there. And as far as commingling of customers and corporate funds is concerned, if you look at the statement that Kraken came out, they actually published this blog right after the news was out in the open. They said that the complaint itself that the SEC provided concedes that the so-called commingling is no more than Kraken spending fees it has already earned. Right. So SEC is not really sure whether what it means by, it's not clear what the SEC means by commingling here. Kraken obviously knows that this is not commingling, it is the fees that they have incurred on as part of the customer activity that they are using, right? So it's their earnings. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes ahead. Kraken is obviously going to fight this in the court, and it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. Moving on, Ethereum Layer 2 Kinto has decided to move to Arbitrum. Now, Ethereum Layer 2 Kinto was an upcoming project. Originally, they decided to launch on the OP stack, but now they've moved to the Arbitrum ecosystem. And the reason that they've given is that it is more secure, reliable, regulatory compliant, and other things. I think it is it. Although all of those are like nice talking points for the media, but the real reason behind this seems to me that Arbitrum is the biggest blockchain, the biggest layer two at the moment. As we can see here from an activity perspective, Arbitrum has got the most activity of any other layer 2 at the moment, and it is seeing massive rise as well. From a TVL perspective, again, Arbitrum has the most amount of value logged in its ecosystem of apps. So they are the numero uno, the top layer 2. And switching from Optimism to, I'm sorry, OP mainnet to Arbitrum is not a change in technology. Both are optimistic rollups. So it is not like as if you're moving from Optimism to ZK rollup so that they have to do more work. It's just you're choosing to go with a better collaborator, a better well-known, uh, a, a player in the space that you feel is going to grow even better than the others. So that makes a lot of sense, and that to me seems to be the main reason for them to do it. Great job. Let's move on to the next news. Okay, now this is interesting. Uranium you can now buy uranium linked tokens on the crypto space, right? So uranium 308 tokens, which are backed by actual physical uranium, were publicly have been can now be bought on the blockchain. You can trade them on Uniswap, but it is a highly regulated heavy metal, meaning that although you have it listed on the decentralized stage, not everybody can actually go and buy it. You need to, as a buyer, adhere to strict compliance protocols, and yes, yeah, so that takes care of nefarious elements out there looking to get their hands on uranium to create like a uranium nuclear bomb. So that is not going to happen. But why is there such a, and so okay, even before we go that, the project has already received a lot of interest, and over $10 million of physical settlement orders are in place. So why is there such an interest in uranium, right? The main reason is that it is in a crucial element in energy production for nuclear plants. A lot of governments in the world are now rethinking their energy production strategy, and they're opening up to nuclear power. So there's a certain demand increase in for uranium. We can look at the demand of the uranium here, and you can see that the uranium price has actually started to move up in the last couple of months. So there's certainly demand for it, and having it on the blockchain actually provides like an alternative market for people who want to get their hands on uranium, to get their hands on uranium, right? So that is the whole appeal of this, and that is why I think this is an important news. So that is the last news of the day. Everybody, I hope you like this session, and do like and share. And I will see you next time with another weekly crypto news recap. Bye.